For them, the future seemed bright.
She'd light up a room anytime she walked in.
Until they met an unthinkable fate.
There was some blood spots leading towards the stairway.
Beautiful young women abducted on lonely streets or taken in broad daylight. Some were even snatched from their own beds.
I just made a resolution to myself that no matter what it took, I would survive.
15 stories that made national headlines. Some still shrouded in mystery, others with shocking conclusions. They were young, beautiful, and then suddenly, they vanished. Next. An ambitious young career woman disappears in Orlando, Florida. A shadowy figure is captured on videotape. Number 15 on our list, a family's agony when Jennifer Kessie vanishes. From an early age, Jennifer Kessie had a mind of her own.
Very outgoing, way beyond her years as far as intelligence as well as maturity. Fun-loving, great laugh, stubborn, all rolled up into one.
Jennifer's daddy's little girl. We talked every day, multiple times a day actually, but she always asked me for my input on things.
After college, Jennifer landed a job at an Orlando investment firm. She was on the fast track.
Her future goal? She wanted to be a CFO of a medical company. That was the biggest star that she was shooting for. And we couldn't have been prouder. I mean, 3 promotions in 3 years.
By 2005, Jennifer was earning enough to buy her own condo. She purchased a 900 square foot unit in a brand new gated community. The complex was still under construction, and only a handful of the units were occupied. As a single woman living alone, Jennifer told her parents that construction workers sometimes made her feel uncomfortable.
She was uneasy with those workers. She made it known that she was uneasy with them, and she kept her eye on them.
On Monday, January 23, 2006, Jennifer Kessie returned from a long weekend in St. Croix with her boyfriend. She put in a full day of work at the office and headed home. At 10 p.m., she made her nightly phone call to her boyfriend, who lived in Fort Lauderdale, more than 3 hours away.
She was very tired, and they were wondering when they would see each other next.
The next morning, January 24th, Jennifer Kessie didn't show up for work. A family friend who happened to work in the same office called Jennifer's parents.
Our friend asked, did something happen to Jennifer? She was supposed to be here. She didn't make it to work. Is she sick? So I immediately called her cell phone, and that was the first time ever that it went directly to voicemail.
When Jennifer still didn't answer by late morning, her parents knew something was wrong. They got in their car and began the 2-hour drive to Orlando.
I'm a nurse, I have a lot of connections, so I just started calling my nurse friends to say, call the hospitals in Orlando. This is Jen's description, this is her car. Do they have any Jane Doe accident victims?
Jennifer's parents had a key to her condo.
She had a few outfits laid out on the bed, the shower was used, the wet towel, everything like that. And nothing was abnormal. In fact, the bag that she went away with was fully packed right inside of her door. She came in, I guess, dropped it and went to bed.
Jennifer was nowhere to be found. Her 2004 Chevy Malibu was also missing.
My immediate was, oh my God, we've got to find her. Now that's an odd thing to say, but we knew. So that is when it hit me. Something heinous has happened, and oh my God, she needs to be found. We need to find her.
The Kessies called police. Friends and family came in from all over the state to help with the search. The news media descended. Jennifer's tiny condo was transformed into a central command post. 2 days after Jennifer's disappearance, someone called with a tip.
Jennifer's car was recovered on the 26th of January 2006. It was found by a citizen who had seen coverage and noticed that it was the same tag number. It was a black 4-door Chevy Malibu, and it was parked at the Huntington on the Green condominiums, which is about a mile east of Jennifer's condo.
Detectives looked at video from security cameras and discovered Jennifer's car entering the garage at about 12 noon, the day she disappeared.
The car came in the main entrance of Huntington on the Green off of Texas Avenue and pulled beside the swimming pool. It pulled into a parking space, the third space from the pool, and it appeared to maybe pull in at an angle, so the driver backed up, straightened it up, and then got out of the car.
Although the video appeared grainy, the person driving the vehicle was clearly not Jennifer.
They don't know if it's a man or a woman because the quality is not that good and they've tried to enhance it. But they know the person is 5'4", sort of a slight build.
Police examined the car. There were no signs of a struggle.
It looked as if someone had just gone for a ride in the car, parked it, and walked away.
To date, this short video clip is the only lead detectives have. Investigators believe Jennifer may have been abducted.
Most of the victims that I deal with as a homicide detective have some type of risk factor in their life. Jennifer didn't have those risk factors. She got ready for work one day and walked out the door and disappeared.
Jennifer's parents remain hopeful.
I think the most difficult part of dealing with Jennifer's disappearance still to this day is the lack of someone stepping forward. We know someone knows something.
The worst part is the not knowing. You can have hope, but on any given day, on any given moment, you're gonna have periods of sadness. A song on a radio, you might see someone that resembles Jen, and it kind of pulls at your heart, and then you have to regroup and get yourself back on track.
When we return, a beautiful girl, a Florida vacation, a shocking detour,
There was a substantial amount of this victim's blood in his car.
and later an exclusive interview. Elizabeth Smart tells her incredible story of survival.
They're high.
A bright 22-year-old bound for law school, a mysterious family acquaintance. A night on the town ends in tragedy. At number 14 on our list, the disappearance of Stepha Henry. Stepha Henry was born in Trinidad and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
She was passionate about everything she did. Stepha was passionate about dressing, going to school, getting an education, and also pursuing her career.
In 2007, Stepha graduated with honors from John Jay College in New York. She planned to attend law school.
She was an academic star, but she also had a personal quality that was just effervescent. She smiled, great sense of humor, good with her peers.
For Memorial Day weekend, Stepha and her younger sister went to Florida. They stayed with their aunt in North Miami.
She usually goes to Florida annually for spring break because she likes over there.
As the weekend came to a close, a friend invited Stepha to a barbecue. According to police reports, a man named Kendrick Williams helped host the party.
He is Stepha's friend's brother-in-law, so I know that Stepha knows the family for quite some time since she was in high school.
Police reports state that Williams offered to take his sister-in-law and Stepha to a club near Fort Lauderdale later that night. After the barbecue, Stepha returned to her aunt's house to get dressed for the club. Stepha's friend ultimately decided to stay home. According to police reports, sometime after midnight, Stepha was picked up by a man driving a dark-colored Acura. Video shot that night at Pepper's Cafe, a local nightclub, shows Stepha Henry with a man police identified as Kendrick Williams. This is the last image of Stepha. She never made it back to her aunt's house.
Well, my sister got worried the morning when she got up and she didn't see her. But I got a call from Shola, Stepha's younger sister, around 10 o'clock the morning after, saying that Stepha didn't come home. So right away, we knew something was wrong.
Stepha's family reported her missing. Police began searching for the man driving the dark-colored Acura.
The whole case hinges on this Acura, and it stalls out as the police look for this car.
As the days dragged on with no solid leads, Steffa's loved ones grew concerned.
I started to feel very uncomfortable. I got scared and tried to stay strong, and we started praying a lot because we are a very religious family.
It was disbelief. It was first a sense that, oh, this will work out. This is Steffa. She can take care of herself. It became clear that there was something much more serious unfolding.
On June 5th, a week after Steffa's disappearance, police in Miramar, Florida stopped Kendrick Williams for a traffic violation. He was driving a rental car. According to police records, Williams admitted to borrowing a friend's Acura, but he denied giving Steffa a ride to the club the night she vanished. With no evidence to hold him, police released Williams.
To their credit, the police were dogged on this case.
The police investigation continued for 4 months. In September 2007, detectives finally located the Acura. Police records claim the car had been sold by Williams to someone in South Florida shortly after Steffa disappeared. Police records indicated the carpets had been cleaned with bleach or stain remover. The report also mentioned something else.
There was a substantial amount of this victim's blood in his car, and they were able to match it, not just by blood type, which is a pretty good match, but by DNA matching, which is, if it's done correctly, foolproof.
And that's the link that law enforcement made with Williams and Steffa.
On the morning of January 15th, 2008, 9 months after Steffa went missing, police tracked down their suspect.
Williams was actually picked up in Brooklyn, New York, on charges stemming from a warrant out of Florida.
Williams was extradited to Florida, where he was charged with second-degree murder. He pled not guilty and is currently awaiting trial. Steffa's body has never been found. Meanwhile, Sylvia Henry still prays that she will see her daughter again.
Steffa, I love you and I miss you more than the world could tell you. And your mother and father and Shola and all the rest of your family love you, and we need you home.
Coming up, a college freshman looking for fun finds a monster. The shocking details.
She had no idea that he was a convicted sexual predator who had failed to register.
A promising pre-med student places an online ad. A convicted child molester answers. The tragic result is our number 13 story. Donna Jo vanishes. Donna Jo had always been an achiever. In 2006, Donna left her hometown of Houston, Texas, and began her freshman year at San Diego State University. Donna's mother, Neely, also moved to the area to be near her daughter.
She was a straight A student, and she wanted to be neurosurgeon.
As the school year came to a close, Donna placed an online ad as a math tutor. Through her posting, Donna connected with a man who used the online name Sinjin.
Donna Jo met John Stephen Burgess Sinjin on Craigslist.
According to police, at some point, their conversations turned to drugs.
I think there was maybe 4 correspondence back and forth. The discussion was, in general, it said, I do everything, in reference to narcotics.
I knew Donna to be my little sister who was a pre-med student who, in every way you could possibly imagine, trumped everything I ever did. So to hear that this is what was going on or this is what happened, it's absolutely shocking.
On the evening of June 23, 2007, Donna told her mother that she was going out to a party. At about 5:30 p.m., Neely watched as Donna rode off with a man driving a motorcycle.
She had no idea that he was a convicted sexual predator who had failed to register.
In 2003, John Stephen Burgess was convicted of performing a lewd act with a child. He served nearly 5 months in prison and was placed on 3 years probation.
From everything I know about Donna from her parents, there's no way, had she known that she would ever have gone with him.
And this is the big mistake, and it's the same thing we tell our daughters about going to nightclubs. Don't meet a guy alone. If you're going to find a man on Craigslist, he's not going to tell you he's a sex offender.
Several hours after Donna left with Burgess, her mother Neely received a text.
The text message said, "I will be home soon, love you, Mommy." The second day, the mother received another text that said that she was in San Diego, but it wasn't the language normally that she spoke in, so that was sort of an alarm went off there.
The day after Donna rode off with the mysterious stranger, her family filed a missing persons report. Donna's older sister, Lisa, called everyone Donna had recently spoken with on her cell phone. Before long, Lisa actually got St. John on the line.
Finally, when I got to him, he was just like, well, she was with me. So that's pretty much when I knew that he had something to do with something.
On July 5th, 2 weeks after Donna's disappearance, police named 35-year-old Stephen Burgess a person of interest.
So what we're looking for right now is just information. Has anybody seen Miss Joe or Mr. Burgess? Either one of those would be great leads for us.
Burgess had already left the state. Police suspected he was headed for Jacksonville, Florida, his hometown.
Jacksonville uniformed police officer was doing routine patrol in a high narcotics activity area. Sees our boy St. John, and when he sees the police officer, drops a baggie of rock cocaine and starts to run, and he detains him.
On July 25th, 2007, police in Florida arrested Stephen Burgess on suspicion of cocaine possession. He was convicted of felony drug possession and sentenced to time served. Back in Los Angeles, Burgess was charged with failing to register as a sex offender. In October 2007, he was found guilty and sentenced to 3 years in prison. But authorities didn't have enough evidence to charge Burgess in connection with Donna Joe's disappearance.
We asked them so many times, begged them so many times to tell us what happened that night, where Donna is. He didn't say anything.
In March 2009, nearly 2 years after Donna vanished, Burgess finally came clean to police detectives.
We did an investigative grand jury. That led to St. John knowing what was going on and how much we were finding out. At that point, we went back to the prison, and he said it was time. He wanted to tell us the story of what happened. He believed that probably the best thing for him to do was to come forward with the truth now and take his sentencing.
2 months later, Burgess admitted in court that he brought Donna to a party at his house near Venice, California, where he provided her with drugs.
What drugs did you give her? There was marijuana, a little bit of cocaine, a little bit of heroin, some heavy alcohol, some prescription pills. It was bad stuff. And everybody left, we went to sleep. And in the morning, I woke up and she was gone. Where do you go? She was dead.
And he panicked. Instead of calling the police, he packaged up the body and threw her in the ocean.
I don't want to believe that for 2 years my daughter is at the bottom of the ocean for 2 years. No, I don't want to believe that. He took everything.
John Stephen Burgess was charged with involuntary manslaughter and concealment of an accidental death. Burgess pleaded guilty. At his sentencing hearing on May 18, 2009, Burgess addressed the Joe family.
I accept responsibility for what I've done, and I will accept the punishment for what I've done, and I will go and I will serve out my time and get out and try to go on again and become a better person.
He received 4 years for the involuntary manslaughter and 1 year for the disposing of the body. So a total of 5 years that he will spend in our state prison here in California.
Meanwhile, the Joe family struggles to move on.
We don't know what torture my child went through, and we have to live with that pain the rest of our lives. And that's not life.
When we return, a disturbing mystery. A young Canadian woman heads to Vegas and vanishes.
Jesse did not choose to go missing.
Tired of your